Hello, welcome back to the Squawka YouTube channel. I'm Statman Dave, and it's now time to react to the Europa League draw. It's the big one. It's the greatest tournament in world football, the Europa. Right, before we dive in there, make sure, of course, to subscribe if you are new to the Squawka channel. Like that goddamn video. Anyway, it's time to dive in. So we're going to be taking a look at the Europa League draw on the OneFootball app. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below, so go and give it a download. So let's dive straight into the draw. First up, we're going to be talking about those English teams. Then we're going to touch on the Scottish teams and maybe talk a little bit about the group of death. So first up, let's go for Arsenal, who have been drawn with Eintracht Frankfurt, Standard Liège and Victoria. Eintracht Frankfurt, of course, did really well in the competition last season, losing to Chelsea in the semi-final. A really good style of football, 3 at the back, 5 in midfield, 2 up front. Of course, they have lost Sebastian Haller and Luka Jovic to West Ham United and Real Madrid respectively, but they've brought in Bas Dost, a player that excels at scoring goals. You're looking at Kostic at left wing back, it's going to be a real danger in terms of carrying ball, creating, looking to play balls into the box for Bas Dost. He is going to be the big danger for Arsenal Football Club, considering how they've got defenders like Mustafi, David Luiz. You're looking at someone like Socrates as well. You'd expect Bas Dost to really dominate them in the air. It's going to be vitally important they deal with Kostic as well, a very attacking left wing back, so either Hector Bellerin or, of course, Maitland-Niles going to have a big job to do to deal with them. Standard Liège and Victoria, you'd expect Arsenal to steamroll both of those sides, but it's going to be a big battle for that top spot. And I think I might put Eintracht Frankfurt at number 1. Let's move on to the second English team, and that is Manchester United, who took a big L in Group L and are partnered with Astana, Partizan Belgrade and AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar is going to be a good one for Manchester United fans because Alkmaar is just north of Amsterdam. Astana, though, is 9 hours away on a plane in Kazakhstan. That is going to be a long trip for the away fans, and Partizan Belgrade is a really interesting proposition. Tosic used to play for Manchester United, now plays for Partizan Belgrade, so we'll see an old face there. But going to Belgrade, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely wild, facing Manchester United. But expect United to fly through that group. United have missed big teams such as Borussia Mönchengladbach. They've missed Eintracht Frankfurt in the draw. The guys that could have been put with Celtic, they've missed. So they've had a pretty decent draw in terms of the strength, but not the greatest for the away fan, having to go all that way over to Kazakhstan, but could be a really interesting trip. Expect United to top that group. Moving to Group K, Wolves' group, Besiktas, Braga, Wolves and Bratislava. So that's an interesting one for Wolves. You'd expect them to really do well in this tournament if they can field their strongest 11, but it's going to be balancing that out with the league. Expect Patrick Crotone to be that guy to score them the goals in the Europa League, but if they play their strongest 11, Wolves will simply breeze through this group, but it will cost them in the Premier League. So it's going to be all about how Nuno Espirito Santo manages the two tournaments, manages the two competitions. Jota and Raul Jimenez, arguably two of the best attackers in the tournament, so it's going to be big for them in balancing their books. So let's move on to Celtic's group. They've been drawn with Lazio, Ron and Cluj. Celtic could really see themselves get out of here. I think a hard trip to Rome to face Lazio is going to be the difficult game for them, but at home, at Celtic Park, with the atmosphere, you'd expect them to fly through again. They got knocked out by Cluj in the Champions League, so it's going to be a big battle between Celtic and Cluj at Celtic Park to get some revenge. So let's move on to Rangers' group, the group of death, Group G, Porto, Young Boys, Feyenoord and Rangers. It's going to be a really tough group to decide who goes through. Expect Porto will be going through that tournament. You can see in there, UEFA Youth League team last season won the tournament. Expect someone like a Fabio Silva maybe to come through this season, playing as a centre-forward in the Europa League for Porto. Expect him to be the next big thing going forward. Reminds me a little bit of Inzaghi, old AC Milan striker, so he's one to watch out for. But that is a group of death. You've got Young Boys who are a good side, Feyenoord a good side, Rangers are a half-decent side under Steven Gerrard, and of course Porto. That's going to be a good group, that's going to be competitive. Right, so let's move on to the favourites of the tournament. You've got to put Sevilla in there just because of their pedigree, how many times that they've reached the final and won the tournament. I think Arsenal are obviously in there, beaten finalists last season, Eintracht Frankfurt have got to be there with their recruitment over the summer after losing stars. And of course, Manchester United and Roma. That's what I'd put at the top. Maybe Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. Marco Rose is now manager there. They could play a really interesting style. But for me, it's Manchester United's or Arsenal's to lose. They're the two teams that should be making the final. With their quality, the investment, you're looking at Arsenal bringing the likes of Nicolas Pepe. But they've also got Aubameyang and the main man Lacazette. Last season for Arsenal in the Europa League, Lacazette and Aubameyang scored 56% of their goals. And you're looking, of course, at Manchester United, the calibre of player they've got there with Paul Pogba, that you're thinking later on in this sort of tournament, they could bring him into those sort of latter knockout stage and he could really go. You're thinking United as well is quite exciting. You can see the likes of Angel Gomez, Taith Chong, you're thinking Mason Greenwood, James Garner in midfield, all will get minutes, which is exciting. You're seeing these young players play for Manchester United. So arguably it'll be a really good platform for United to test these players in a really decent competition in Europe. But anyway guys, get into the comments below. Who is your favourites to win the Europa League this season? I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you are new to the Squawka YouTube channel. But anyway, I'll see you